Hello everyone, today I'm gonna talk about the life and execution of Peter Stumpp. Peter Stumpp died at 89, was a German serial killer and farmer, accused of werewolfery, witchcraft and cannibalism. He was known as the werewolf of Bitburg. The name Stumpp might have been given him as a reference to the fact that his left hand had been cut off, leaving only a stump. It was alleged that as the werewolf had his left forepaw cut off, then the same injury proved the guilt of the man. Stumpp was born at the village of Efrat, near the country town of Bedburg, in the electorate of Cologne. His actual date of birth is not known, as the local church registers were destroyed during the 30 Years' War. He was a wealthy farmer of his rural community. During the 1580s, he seems to have been a widower with 2 children, a girl called Sibyl, who seems to have been older than 15 years old, and a son of an unknown age. During 1589, Stumpp had one of the most lurid and famous werewolf trials of history. After being stretched on a rock, and before further torture commenced, he confessed to having practiced black magic since he was 12 years old. He claimed that the devil had given him a magical belt of girdle, which enabled him to metamorphose into the likeness of a greedy devouring wolf, strong and mighty, with eyes great and large, which in the night sparkled like fire, a mouth great and wide, with the most sharp and cruel teeth, a huge body, and mighty paws. Removing the belt, he said, made him transform back to his human form. No such belt was ever found after his arrest. For 25 years, Stumpp had allegedly been an insatiable bloodsucker who gorged on the flesh of goats, lambs and sheep, as well as men, women and children. Being threatened with torture, he confessed to killing and eating 14 children, 2 pregnant women whose fetuses he ripped from their wombs and ate their hearts painted hot and raw, which he later described as dainty morsels. One of the 14 children was his own son, whose brain he has reported to have devoured. Not only was Stumpp accused of being a serial murderer and cannibal, but also of having incestuous relationship with his daughter, who was sentenced to die with him, and that he had coupled with a distant relative, which was also considered to be incestuous according to the law. In addition to this, he confessed to having had intercourse with a succubi sent to him by the devil. The execution of Stumpp on October 31, 1589, and of his daughter and mistress is one of the most brutal on record. He was put to a wheel where flesh was torn from his body in 10 places, with red-hot pincers, followed by his arms and legs. Then his limbs were broken with the blunt side of an axe head to prevent him from returning from the grave, before he was beheaded and his body burned on a pyre. His daughter and mistress had already been flayed and strangled, and were burned along with Stumpp's body. As a warning against similar behavior, local authorities erected a pole with the torture wheel and the figure of a wolf on it, and at the very top they placed Peter Stumpp's severed head.